Hello and welcome to the next episode of Shift Happens Catalyst Conversations. I'm super happy to connect with Lawrence, who is connecting with me from the other side of the world. I'm super happy because he was also one of my teachers when I was studying coaching as a holobody coach. So now I'm coming back to my roots in some ways and allowing him to tell his amazing story as well. Because this podcast is all about transformations. Maybe Lawrence, you can tell us a little bit about maybe some big transformation that you had in your life or whatever transformation you want to share with us.
Wow. Thank you, Silja, for having me today. I'm Lawrence, and my journey has been anything but a little bit extraordinary. Life has taken me through some of the most challenging times, but every setback, I found a way to rise higher, stronger, and with a deeper purpose. Now I'm a coach, a publisher, and an entrepreneur. But beyond the titles, my passion is transformation, helping people break past limitation and rewrite their stories and create extraordinary lives. I know firsthand what it means to start over. I faced rock bottom, battled through challenges, and had to rebuild not just my body, but also my mindset, my identity, my entire way of living. And through that process, I discovered something profound. The human spirit is capable of incredible things when we choose to rise. And now I dedicate my life to guiding others to their journeys, whether it's through life coaching, helping authors to bring their stories to life, or empowering entrepreneurs to build their digital status. So, at the heart of all of this, my mission is simple: to inspire, transform, and help others to create the extraordinary life they're meant to live. And so today I'm so excited to share my story, the lessons I've learned, and the mindset shifts that can help you step into your own greatness.
Yeah, you are
So,
definitely the
yeah.
perfect guest to have here because you are inspiring people in so many different levels, like the body and mind, but also like the business level. So it's like you have gone through so many things, and this has made you so strong and so extraordinary. And I'm so inspired to just even hear your story once again, whatever you want to share about it.
Yes.
Because we all know
Yeah.
that you have very amazing story to share. And I guess you also
Mm,
got an award from Mind Valley for being like the
mm,
hero.
yeah, yeah. If I had to pinpoint the most life altering transformation, it would be the moment I lost my right leg. That was
Mm.
the day my entire world shattered. And yet, it was also the moment my real life began, if I can say that. Before my accident, I was on the called success track. Hard worker. I'm an expat here in Japan, so everything was hard for me. Hard worker, climbing the corporate ladder, chasing achievements, chasing position, thinking that sacrificing my health was just part of the deal.
Mm.
That was my limiting belief. I ignore all the warning signs, exhaustion, stress, even the doctor telling me that my body was breaking down. I just kept going, believing I was doing what was necessary to succeed for myself, for my family. And,
Wow,
September
this was like a
2018.
true wake up call from the universe. It was like, you're not
Yeah.
listening, Lawrence. I'm gonna shake you very, very hard, and let's see what happens to you.
Yes, yes, yes. It's like God and the universe made it to me in September 2018. Everything changed in an instant. A forklift crushed my leg at work. And I can still remember that moment, the shock, the pain, the disbelief. I woke up in the ICU. My wife was crying beside me, and for the first time in my life, I had to confront something I could not just push through.
Hmm.
For 6 months, I fought to save my leg, undergoing surgery after surgery, refusing to let go of what I thought defined. Eventually, I had to make the hardest decision to amputate. That was my breaking point, and I fell into depression, lost my confidence, gained weight, and felt like I'd lost everything. But here's the thing about hitting rock bottom: it forces you to make a choice. Either you stay down or you rise. And for me, the catalyst was realizing that my daughter didn't need a man who used to be strong.
Hmm.
She needed a father who was present because I was always absent because I do overtime, get crazy with the work. So my daughter wants just a father who was alive, who was willing to rebuild himself for her. That was my turning point. I stopped mourning that I lost my leg and I started to focusing on what still I had. I immersed myself in personal development, health, and peak performance. I rebuilt my body. I was really, really fat. I was 106 kilograms back then.
Wow.
I could not even walk with my prosthetic leg. So I started to feed myself with the right health aware and rebuild my body, rebuild my mind, rediscover my purpose. And in doing that, I found something even greater, a mission to help others transform their own lives, to show them that no matter what they've been through, they can create something extraordinary.
So before, just to clarify, before that, you didn't do any kind of self-development. So that was the catalyst, like zero.
No, I will tell you, Celia, honestly, and all of the people who listen to this podcast, I didn't know the word personal growth. It was out of my dictionary and my vocabulary. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So this is like really a breaking point from zero to hero, basically. You became a completely new person. You rebuilt yourself, like body wise, mentally, spiritually, and now you're just helping other people. I guess not everybody needs that kind of a big catalyst, but what would you tell people who have like zero experience with self development and personal growth? How would you encourage these people to get started? What would be their motivator without going into the extreme of losing a leg? What would motivate these people?
Yeah, so I'm not praying that everyone will lose the leg because it will be so hard. But I think it's something inside of us. It's maybe the voice that we didn't heard yet, or it's still because of the distraction of all of the goals and miscommunication. We cannot hear the voice what's inside of us,
Mm,
and I can consider myself. I was like that before. I cannot hear that I can do better or
mm,
I can work smarter. And I think it's all of us just being silent and just feel the voice that's inside of us that we need to grow in a way that there's no competition, because I came in a very competitive, Southeast Asian country, which is the Philippines, and everything seems to be competition for me, even in work. I can say it may be healthy or not, but I think it's just a part of me of being high achiever. And I
mm.
feel that most of the people who listening to this podcast are also high
Oh
achievers.
yeah.
But yeah, sometimes we just want to we just want to be silent and really feel what is inside of us and what's the calling. Is it for you to study or to learn something about the books? It's not just about watching a lot of things in social media. There's also a lot of good stuff in social media, but also just sitting and being silent. I think it's just the most beautiful time out for you to really feel what do you need, right?
Hmm. So it's all already inside us. Even if we have zero experience with self development, it's already inside us. So it's not about discovering something from outside, although all the outside sources like books and podcasts and courses can help you, but it's more like activating what's inside you.
Yes, I think there's a navigator that tells you what to do. If you have to listen, if you will hear that voice, it may be trying to learn something like maybe AI, who knows, right? But if you feel what's calling you, I think there's no right or wrong there, and you just have to try it, and maybe, the next success will be there. So,
Hmm. Yeah, like you said, it starts with the silence because only in the silence you can start listening to yourself. You can start listening to the
mm,
voice that's inside you. So it's
yeah.
more about, yeah,
Mm.
personal growth is about growing from the inside out. And when you have grown a lot, then you can also shine your light outside.
That's true,
Mm.
and I can testify to that because the more you help yourself, the more you get better to help others. It's all started from us, and I can feel and see now in my journey. Before that, I was just always helping others, or I dedicated my entire life and career just to focus on this one goal, which is to go climb the ladder and to chase my boss position and to be rewarded and get promoted. but everything was very unconscious, I can say.
So after the accident, you started the journey of self-growth. What kind of practices did you start with? You said you were overweight, so you lost really some
Mm,
weight in the beginning, and then you started to go more into this mindful ways. What kind of practices,
mm,
courses, books? What was helping you? Do you remember?
yeah. So it's me starting to do meditation. Yeah, I was really having doubts if it's for me or not, because like meditation is something I can say it was not a taboo for me, but to try it for the first time, I think I'm just coming in the way of all or nothing, because for me back then it's all for all or nothing. Like, if I will do this or not, I think it's all at stake, right? So I'm giving it all just to lose weight, and meditation really helped me to really see the awareness of where I am right now, or and where I want to be. And it gives me the silence.
Hmm.
It was a guided meditation, but it all brings me down to myself, that I need to focus on building me, because I felt that I was really broken during that time. So meditation really, really helps me. Another thing that really helps me a lot is waking up early in the morning. So imagine you were in a hospital, right? And I was in a ward. So we're sharing, I was in a room of four, and I'm setting my alarm in 5
And everybody hated you.
a.m. Yeah, so not only my roommates sometimes got wake up, but also the nurse, right? So it was a challenge for me in a week, but I'm really, really determined to wake up in the morning and do a little bit of exercise, trying to sweat. I cannot do push up back then. I'm trying to walk with my prosthetic leg, just having this little sweat to start my day, and to finish it with the meditation before my nurse do the room visit,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
the rounds, the room visit. So
Mhm.
I'm trying to do that from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. And I think starting my day fast or early really makes me feel victorious during that time, because I was able to do something in the morning that really makes me sweat, and also finish that with meditation. At first it was hard for me to wake up, but the joy of waking up before the alarm was really, really awesome. And for that, my roommate will not be awake. So that was, looking back then, it was really, really helpful for me to try myself to wake up early
Yeah, because
and do
the body
meditation.
gets used to this. Your body gets used to this natural rhythm,
Mm.
and at some point, you don't even need the alarm anymore because the body is already like, "Ooh, waking up." But
Yes,
of course,
yes,
waking up
yes.
at a specific time, it all starts with going to bed at the same time every day as well. Kind of
Yeah, yeah, and I always believe that if you win the morning, you win the day.
Mhm,
So everything starts early for me, and I think I'm an early riser
mhm.
and a morning person. So it's really, really vital for me to wake up early, and I'm very grateful that I developed that habit
Yeah,
back then.
knowing that, I'm very honored that you decided to stay up so late for this podcast because I know for you it's
No,
evening.
yeah, 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 but it's an honor. So I'm very, very excited for this, and it's my honor to be here.
I know that you're also the kind of person when we used to have the certification holopody, you were up, and for you it was like 1 a.m. and you were still like guiding.
Yeah, so I'm not doing that anymore, but well, it was started like 10 p.m. during the summer
Hmm.
time, and it lasts until 11 p.m. here. And yeah, so when it goes to the winter time, it starts 11 p.m. That's finished midnight. And for
So,
me, it's like doing that for me, it's more of giving back to the community. I really love Mind Valley. I have a lot of big gratitude for them. So it feels like me also guiding myself
yeah.
during that time when I started to do coaching, or trying to be a coach or studying coaching. So it's my privilege to serve the community. So I really love the role, and yeah,
Yeah, so actually, this accident changed your life a lot on the mental level, and then
yes,
you also changed your career completely to become the guide for other people instead of being just in business. In every
yeah,
level, a
yeah.
new person, a new Lawrence was built up, and you did all this, okay, yes, by yourself, and also by going into the community in a way. Because
Hmm.
by guiding others, I guess you also got some more ideas how to better guide yourself as well. And I'm also super thankful for this community because this is also how we met. We
Mm,
have also met in person in my home country, Estonia.
yes.
Like huge network of amazing people who are like all over the world.
For sure.
And maybe we just meet maybe once a year, but the
Mm,
connection is still very, very strong. So because we are the
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
people who like to go deep.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
So tell me a little bit more about becoming a coach. Did you get this idea like, oh, I woke up one day in the hospital and now I want to become a coach? Or was it more like a gradual process for you?
Going back to the hospital, my only goal is just to lose weight. I just want to see the picture of me and my daughter holding hands,
Hmm.
looking at the shadow and walking together. That was the very, very first goal that I want to achieve back then.
Hmm.
And then I found Mind Valley. I fell in love with personal growth. I binge a lot of health content inside the platform and I tried it to myself. It worked and I started to lose weight. I started to walk again. I started to be used with my prosthetic leg and everything seems to be going back to normal routine. And I felt that I could not keep it just for myself. You know,
Hmm.
it's so effective, it's so profound, and I just want to, to teach it to someone. And back then I was like having doubts or I think I need something. I need something, not just me or my own experience. I'm looking for something to certify me or something to approve or agree to my decision and to what I experienced, if it's true for others too, something like that. And I actually emailed Mind Valley about it. Like, I
Hmm.
want to be a health coach. Do you have that program, this and that? I emailed Vision, I emailed Ronan, and I've been waiting for 3 months since then. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, they're not replying. Maybe they don't have the program, this and that. And I told my accountability partners in the community of Japan because we have this Japan group. I also run it. I was kind of like leading the group, and I told them that with or without them, I will be a coach. Like,
Hmm.
when I decided that, I think God in the universe heard me, and I was like, "Oh, so you really decided to do this? Okay." And then after a week, Mind Valley launched the Hollow Body program, the seminar. I was like, oh my God, like this is happening, right? This is happening. I need to join this seminar. And after the seminar, they launched the Hollow Body program. Back then, it was a big money for me, $3,000, I
Hmm.
think $4,000 for that course.
Yeah.
But I told my wife that I really want to do this. I feel that there's something happening here that, that's going to be purposely in line with what I'm trying to be. And I'm so happy that she trusted me. I went to the program, and that's why I became a whole body coach, or what we call now a health coach, and also a clinics coach.
Yeah, for me, Holobody was also one of the first things I did in Mind Valley. So I first did
Yeah. Mm,
like life book in January, February. Then I didn't do anything for a few months. And then suddenly, I think I watched like some kind of masterclass or something. And then I ended up on the
mm.
Holobody page. And it was like the last day to apply for the Holobody program. It was like
Oh,
2021. And I felt this very strong pull. I need this thing. I need this program. I was working in tech as a technical writer. So I was working with software, but I suddenly felt that, okay, I actually want to focus on coaching. And I was already like a nutritionist, so I had like some kind of background. I'd also been
mm,
an
mm,
athlete for more than a decade as a runner and then bodybuilder, but I didn't have any like deep coaching experience. And then I felt so strong pull for the whole body. It's kind of like similar that you had. But from your story, it
mm,
also sounds like you had like very strong kind of manifesting power because you're like, okay, I want to
mm.
become a coach with or without them. I'm gonna be that, and then poof,
It happened.
amazing.
It happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I feel that the universe really reflects of what you want to be. Yeah.
Mm.
It's not that, you say this or not, but if you really, if you have the right conviction and determination to be that person or to have that something that you want, the universe will push your back and give you the opportunities. So I believe on that.
Yeah, you will get the things that are aligned with your being. So it's
Yeah.
not about just like sending like a list of orders and demands to the universe. It's also about being energetically
Mm,
aligned, being very open, and being ready to receive
sure.
all that abundance and opportunities and the people. And this way, the universe will serve you in the best way. And it sounds like you were super aligned to do that. And yeah, you became a coach. So what kind of people do you usually help? What kind of problems do these people have when they come to you?
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite questions because I feel that transformation is my life's work, and
Mm,
that's why I got into this shape of being an amputee. And I use my disability. I feel it's my ability to transform other people's lives. And I help people in three powerful ways, right? And through health coaching, maybe in publishing and entrepreneurship. Each of this is a vehicle for a change, for rewriting the stories, because I believe we are in line with our individual unique
mm,
stories, whether it's the story we tell ourselves about our health or our voice as an author or our ability to create freedom and wealth. I always believe that we can have those two things, freedom and wealth, because going back to my story back then, it was something that I need to sacrifice something. It felt like I cannot have both,
mm,
time, freedom, and wealth or health. I need to sacrifice something. But now I'm in this belief, and I think I would like to prove that we can both have, or we can have it all,
mm,
right? As an health coach, I help people break free from the limitation they place on themselves. Even myself, I have a limitation right now as an amputee. Physically, I do. Mentally, sometimes, and emotionally. I don't just teach people how to lose weight or get fit. I think it's a bonus to lose weight or get fit. I help them to shift their identity. There's a magic behind shifting identity. Real lasting transformation is not about what you do, it's about who you become.
mhm,
And for who you become tomorrow, that truly what matters than who you are today. I always believe in that. A lot of people believe they're stuck in their health struggles. They say, I'm not just so disciplined, or I have a bad genetic. Like, like,
mm,
my genetic is this, or I've tried everything and nothing works, right? We encounter that people sometimes. And I help them rewrite the narrative. We work on mindset, habits, and lifestyle design, making extraordinary health feel effortless and sustainable, because we don't want to start in a hard way that will break apart at the end or at the very long run or maybe at the middle. And I believe when your body is thriving, everything else in your life rises with it. So, as a health coach, I believe in that, and it always starts with the mind and followed by the fuel it by the heart, and that fuels you to do things that you love.
yeah, definitely. Healthy body, I guess it's super, super important. And sometimes in the spiritual world, people just, for me, it feels that sometimes people neglect the body, but I feel that the body is actually super important because if you don't have your health,
Mm,
then you don't have the energy and will to do anything else. Basically, in some way, it
mm,
also starts with the body because the body
yeah.
is not like our teacher Ronan also said, your body is not just a
Mm,
vehicle to get your brain from point A to point B from one meeting to another. Your body itself is also super important. And I guess, yeah, you also know
mm,
the body talk exercise that was part of the hollow body. So you kind of like start building a relationship with your own body. You start talking to your body. I have done that exercise when I did it first. I
mm,
was like 1 month before bodybuilding stage. So I had been torturing myself quite a lot. So the first time I did it in front of a big mirror, I was also saying sorry to my body because I had been
mm,
torturing myself and causing suffering. And I was actually
mm, mm,
crying. And I was also promising my body to give it more nutrition once I'm over the competition phase. So that was like very powerful exercise just to talk to your body and start building a relationship
mm,
because
mm,
your body will always be
mm,
with you and you have to have a good relationship with it. And for you, it feels like it started after the accident. You started building a real relationship with your body. And now you teach other people
mm,
how to do
mm.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I can say the accident and having the amputation surgery came really, really hard. And it will not be the same for most of the people. But I would like to say that, like, you don't have to lose something. You don't need to suffer with a big suffering or go to your
Mhm.
rock bottom to just dialed into your purpose or to your why on why you are doing something. Either it's personal growth, either it is working with your health, either it's, maybe working with a relationship or, with someone. We always have that something inside of us that tells us what to do. Going back to what I've shared a
Mhm.
while ago, there's a voice, there's the intuition that will tell or that will as a navigator for us to do what is something that we should do or what's the right thing to do, if we can say the right thing to do. Yeah, so it's all coming down for us. We draw ourselves from a lot of distraction, from a lot of unnecessary things that gets our attention, and we can really hear what is the true voice that's coming from us, and we'll do the right thing for sure.
Yeah, amazing. So you said, okay, you're helping people rewrite their stories. So what are the
Mm,
most common limiting beliefs and stories that people keep telling themselves? Like, I don't have
mm.
time, or I old, I'm too young. What do you keep hearing from people that you work with?
Yeah, I hear that there's always they say that I have no time.
Mm.
I have no time. I have a lot of things to do, but they came to me and they want to be guided,
Mm.
right? They say I don't have time and I have a lot of things to do. Gym is not for me, something like that. Every limiting beliefs that I have no time. Of course, we have time. We equally have time, rich
Mhm.
or poor, living from northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere. We each all have 24 hours. It's just a matter of our priorities, right? It's just a matter of priority. We all have 24 hours, even the rich, will not get 25 hours, but
Mhm.
it all goes down to our priorities, whether it's up to you if your priorities is health or if your priority is your job, if your priority is to gossip or if your priority is to just chill. It
Mhm.
all goes down for us, but after all, we don't want to have the regret that we never really take care of our body, right?
Mhm.
There's a famous saying that when we are healthy, we have a lot of wishes. But when we get sick, like really, really sick, we just want to get healthy. And we don't want to fall onto that realization that I should really care of my body. But
Mhm.
it's always the priority. And I wish that everyone can have that awareness. But, we always have the time. We can set the priorities. It's all just our choice.
That
Yeah.
this is so very true. So
Mm.
my father would have been 60 like 2 days ago, but he died when he was
Mm.
46. So he died
Oh.
13 years ago. And
Mm.
so he was like overweight his whole life. He had diabetes. And at some point, his kidney stopped working. He had to go to
Mm.
dialysis every day. And
Dialysis.
like
Yeah.
a lot of different health problems. And finally, his heart gave
Mm.
up. And he was always telling us that when he was already like quite sick, the last 6 years, that was like awful. From 40, like imagine you're like 40 and then you can't work anymore and you have to start going to hospital every single morning to sit in the dialysis machine for
Mm.
4.5 hours. And he was telling us the same, that health is the most important thing. Health is your most important
Mm.
asset. And he realized this, okay, too late. He was already like super overweight
Mm.
and there was no way for him to get out of this. At least, or maybe he
Mm.
believed that there was no way. And I was also young. When he died, I was like 23, so I didn't understand either. But this might also have been part of my motivation to become also health
Mm.
coach and nutritionist. I was already very
Mm.
interested in nutrition when I was like 14 and 15. I was the kind of person who
Wow.
got cookbooks for Christmas, and I even have cookbooks that my father gave to me. And there's like this
Wow.
dedication inside the book because I was just so interested
Mm.
in food. And even when I was 15, the online calculators for food tracking, this was like very, very, I would say, Stone Age level food tracking. But I was still playing with this because for me, this was so exciting. He was like a very good example of this, that if you lose your health, your joy will also start leaving you, because he
Mm.
tried still to be like a good father for us, but when he was losing his health, he actually felt embarrassed because of this. He felt ashamed, and
Mm.
he was even hiding because he had diabetes for many, many years, and he was even hiding the needles, injections in the garbage. And putting
mm,
them away into a different garbage bin so the neighbors wouldn't see how sick he was. Like he
mm,
thought that maybe the neighbors would judge him. So he was also living in a
mm,
very small house with only four neighbors. So for him,
mm, mm.
being sick, he didn't like it. It wasn't like part of his identity. So there was like a
Yeah,
lot of suffering. So if your health is not okay, it's not only your body that is suffering. It was also like his mind suffering and emotion, and of course, it was like super sad for
mm,
him
mm.
to not be able to provide for his family just because he was so sick.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a big, deep story, but
that's rough.
health is the most
That's
important
very big.
thing. And sadly, we very often just realize this once it's like completely gone already.
Mm,
Luckily for
mm,
us, we realized before it was like too late. You had to suffer through an extreme, but still you realize how important it is. And now you can have a long life,
mm.
enjoy your family time, for example, publish books and do all the things that make you smile.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, as I also tell everyone here as a health coach, but also there's a part of me as a publisher, I help people bring their stories to life because this is a part of me that if I didn't share my story back then in the Mind Valley platform or talk to someone else, if I didn't open myself, I will not be me here
Mm,
doing this thing or being a coach, creating impact. So I always believe that our stories change the world. I've seen so many brilliant minds sit on their message, doubting themselves, thinking, who am I to write a book or does my story even matter? And I tell them, yes, it does. The world needs your voice. And through publishing, I guide thought leaders and change makers through the entire publishing process from
mm,
refining their message to designing the cover that demands the attention, but it's not about just printing books for me. It's about turning them into a movement. I help authors use their books as a platform to speak, to teach, to create impact because the book is not the end goal. It's just the
mhm.
bridge towards to who you want to be, right? Because when your story is out there, it doesn't just change your life, it changes the lives of everyone who reads it. And that's the most important thing. It's not about the author, it's about the reader who reads the book. So
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I'm able to play bigger with this publisher. I'm also doing good with the coaching, but I feel that I play bigger in this role as a publisher. Mm.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I am a writer myself, so I even have a degree in
Mm.
creative writing. That's also the
Wow.
reason why I went to England for my master's. It was very hard to get there because at this point, that was like the last year of my father. So there was like no money. He was not working. So I just had to support myself. And I went to England because I got into the university. I was like, okay, I have money for maybe the first 2 months. Okay, I don't care if I can only be there for 2 months and study writing
Mm,
because they don't teach
mm,
this
mm,
as a course in Estonia. There's no academic degree, but in US, UK, they have like academic degrees about creative writing. And I really wanted to do that because I've always wanted to write and I always was writing since I
wow.
was like 8. And I just went, I was okay, if I can be here for 2 months, fine. I will just figure it out. So
Mm,
this is when I also started working online as a translator. So I was just doing something, just keeping myself alive. And in the middle of my master's, I also buried my father. That was like basically over Christmas break. So I actually got to see him. I was back from England for Christmas and New Year, and he died like in January. So everything was
mm, mm,
perfectly
mm,
timed in a way, even. I didn't have to even change my flights. I know it sounds like, but yeah, this is how it
mm,
was.
mm.
And also thanks, okay, not thanks, okay, thanks to the money that I got as an inheritance, I could finish my
Mm.
master's degree as well. It was
Yeah,
like a little
yeah.
bit harsh, but still I could do that. And I really wanted to do this
Mm,
because I feel there is so much power in writing. And the thing that you
mm,
are doing,
mm,
you're giving people the voice. It's amazing.
mm.
So I have also written my own books and I have been a
Wow.
ghostwriter for other people. So sometimes people they need somebody else to write the story. Maybe
Yeah,
they have a good story, but they need some guidance. And maybe even they need some kind
for
of
sure.
coaching because when you write your own personal story, there are also many, many emotions
Mm.
attached. So is this something that you're also doing? You coach people into writing the story because all the emotional stuff is coming up. So it can be like a bit painful to write the story as well.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful work because, again, going back to the priorities, maybe it's not their priority, but guiding them to really look on that and helping them to write their stories and to release it to the world, make it in public. I think it's a beautiful contribution to not just to the people who will read that, but to the people who will read that and will create the impact and will do the action coming from that book. So I think it's a big ripple effect.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that,
Yeah.
Celia.
So the books that you focus on, they're all about transformation and change and inspiring stories.
And
It's not fiction. It's all like real life personal stuff.
real life stories, self help. Yeah, it's all self help. Even we started also publishing children's book.
Hmm.
So it's also a self help, not a self help, but it's an inspiring story of children who went to this kind of challenges when they're young. And yeah, so it's so exciting to assist someone like he's now teenager.
Mhm.
So we're really excited for that project, and he would like to donate the book to a lot of hospitals.
So
Yeah.
it's not only adults, it's also like children, because children, you can still teach them so
Mm-hmm.
much. So they're still kind of like untouched. And if you get to
Yeah.
them like in the early stage, you can really teach them the best ways how to manage life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing to
Yeah,
hear.
it's so inspiring. So yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of people are the readers of your books? The books that you publish?
So most of them are all like personal growth, searching for personal growth people. Like most of the books are also in the categories of personal transformation, memoirs, because it's nonfiction books. I can say that it's more aligned with self-confidence. We also publish a lot of women's book,
Hmm.
like Coach Friend's book. Her story is very unique because it reflects her life in the Latin America and also parenting. So women's parenting, self-help, personal transformation, self-confidence. Yeah, yeah, it comprises all of those stuff. Yeah.
Hmm. This sounds very, very powerful. And I feel that these books can also be like the catalyst for change for many people. So you could get, because these are stories written by normal people, people like us.
Yeah,
And if
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
reads it, they're like, ah, this person could achieve something so big. Okay, I can
Mm.
do it. I can do the same. Oh,
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's not only for famous people. That's why I love this. I love this role as a publisher because I can help people who cannot be assisted by big publishing names or big
Mhm.
houses because they tend to help people who are already famous. I discover or I met a certain beautiful individual who's willing to write their stories. They have the very unique stories, and to be able to be the vehicle for them to
Mhm.
write and publish that story, I think it's very fulfilling in my heart
Mhm.
because to really bring that story and to help them, I think it's something very special. So I'm very honored to have this
Mhm.
role as a publisher.
So also these people are actually coming from your own circle. So kind of like the mind valley
Mm,
community and kind of the self-development circle. So you're already very connected to
yeah.
these people. And I feel that you also know all these people personally. So it's not just random people from
Mm,
online, it's just people that you know, and you get
yeah.
their stories out into the world.
Mm,
This is beautiful.
yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. At first, it's mostly coming from Mind Valley, and through referrals, we grow the company, and now we're meeting people from different platforms, from different persons, friends referrals. So it's really good also to look at the outside community,
Mhm.
and yeah. So it's going for all now. Yeah.
And yeah, this also means that you are connected to so many cool people.
Yeah,
Yeah, wherever
those
you travel to
people.
anywhere, you know that okay, in this part of the world, there's such cool
Mm.
person waiting for me, and I can meet that person in real life. So it's super cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's the beautiful, I think, perks, or that's a beautiful bonus when you are in this international community like Mind Valley, right? So your friends are scattered all over the world, and I can pick really, a country in Europe, and I can know someone who I
Mm.
can meet there, or it can be my client in the publishing, it can be someone in Mind Valley. It's really, really cool to have friends all over the world, and I know so you too, right? You can go to Asia and you can meet a lot of your friends. Yeah.
It's true. I really love having this community. It's like even if we don't talk every day, we're still keeping an eye on each other. We see the Instagram stories,
Mm,
things that we share, and maybe yeah, we meet in
mm.
person once a year or so, maybe even less.
Yeah,
Like I said in the
yeah.
beginning, the connection is still deep because we just kind of like vibe on a different kind of level. Just because we are all like in the self development circle in which it's okay to be so open and okay to go deep immediately. You don't have to talk about the weather and small talk. You can just go, okay, what's your biggest trauma? Tell me about your childhood and all that stuff. It's so easy to go deep immediately.
For
So
sure,
yeah,
because we build this connection, and yeah,
yeah,
mm,
it's safe. That's why.
mm, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. So where can people find you if they want to know more about you and your publishing and all that?
Yes, so you can find me in my Instagram. You can follow me at I am Lawrence Tuazon, my full name. I'm there in Instagram and also in Facebook. In LinkedIn, it's the same. The publishing house name is Be Extraordinary. You can find us in beextraordinary.com. You can email us to there, and yeah, feel free to reach out, and yeah,
Yeah, of course.
maybe we can
I
help.
will put the links down here as well, so people can just go and click and enjoy. It was so nice to see you again after a
Me
while
too.
and just connect on this very deep level. So I'm very grateful for
Mhm.
you as a morning person sacrificing your sleep a little bit.
No, it's totally worth it to be here. Thank you so much, Celia, for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Mhm.
It's so nice to see you again after 7 months, I think,
Yeah,
8 months. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
July and now it's like beginning of March.
Yes, yes, it's beginning of March, and looking forward if to see you in Amsterdam, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know yet. Maybe I just want to come because of the community.
For sure, that's the best, right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.